If you told me you were depressed and I said, I'm glad, how would that make you feel? You probably wouldn't appreciate it much, but I'm going to make you appreciate it by the end of the series or maybe even this video. If you watch all the videos in this series, pay attention, listen, and actually try to implement the things we're going to talk about, or at least meditate on them, your life is going to take a complete 180 turn for the better. Alright, I want to start off this video with telling you that you experience life through your mind, correct? So however your mind is set is how you're going to experience life. So you can really sum up happiness as the quality of your thoughts. And once you realize that you are not the thinker of your thoughts, but the observer of your thoughts, a lot of stuff will make sense. What that means is you are not thinking these thoughts. Instead, you are observing these thoughts. So you get to choose what thoughts you identify with and what thoughts you don't want to identify with. So if happiness is the quality of your thoughts, and you realize that you are not the thinker of your thoughts but the observer, that means you get to choose what thoughts you want to identify with. That means you can just totally throw away all those negative thoughts you are having, realizing that those are not actually your thoughts. You're just observing those thoughts and you don't have to identify with them. So if you are depressed right now, I know it might sound a bit cliche, but once you hit rock bottom, there's no way but up. And as Kelly Clarkson would sing, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Meaning whatever you're going through, as long as you make it through it, you're going to become a stronger person because of it. But here's the thing. So many people, and maybe even you, have this idea that depression is a bad thing. But here's the thing about emotions. No emotion is bad and no emotion is good. We just like to put these boxes around emotions and not actually experience emotions for what they are. And when you think that a certain emotion is bad, it can cause anxiety. So when you feel depressed and you go, oh, that's a bad emotion, you're going to become anxious about it because you fear being depressed, and that causes you to be anxious. So it's really important to know that no emotions are good and no emotions are bad. Emotions are just emotions. Don't put a box around them and just feel them for what they are. And also, you need to stop running away from these feelings. Once you can fully accept that, yes, you're depressed, you will realize that, okay, I'm depressed. Let's figure out how to get out of this. Let's figure out what's going on. You become a lot more at peace with yourself. And the first rule is always just acceptance for your situation, acceptance for whatever is going on. Because if you can't accept the reality of something, how are you going to get out of it? Because you're just running away from it. And the weird thing about this world is that the things you don't want in life tend to find you, and the things you do want in life tend to run away from you. So if you're like, oh, no, I don't want to feel depressed, well, you're most likely gonna become more depressed. But if you're like, okay, this is cool, I'm okay with this, people go through this, I'm gonna go through it and I'm gonna make it out of it, you're probably gonna make it out of it quicker because you've accepted your reality of the situation. But I want to give y'all a little story. Back when I was I can't remember exactly, I think 13 or 14, to kind of give you some in-depth understanding to what I'm trying to say. So a while ago, I got super depressed because I didn't feel loved, cared about, or appreciated the way I thought I should have been. And this led me to sitting in my room for 2 days straight, just about pitch black most of the time, just didn't talk to anybody, okay? I didn't use my phone, didn't go on my Xbox or go on my computer or anything at all, just sat in my room, just sat in my emotions basically. And I remember at the time I was working on this one art project. We were weaving like a bowl, and I brought it home with me. So I went to my backpack and I pulled that out and I started to work on it. And I just remember it bringing me a lot of joy for some reason. And eventually when I got out of that, after I finished working on the bowl, and then the next day, everything kind of went back to normal. I was feeling normal again. And at the time, I didn't really realize why that bowl helped me get out of that state. But sitting here today, I know exactly why it did. And I want to tell you about that. So if you have never read the book Power of Now, I'll show it to y'all. It is a amazing book. Power of Now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment. I read the book a while ago, and what it taught me is that our natural state of being is joy and happiness and, whatever else. But thoughts will tend to kick us off that path, will tend to drag us away from that natural state of being. Why do you think, we don't know that trees are happy, but if you think about a tree, you think it's probably happy because it doesn't have any thoughts. You ever seen a depressed bird or whatever? Most likely not, because they don't really have the type of thoughts we have. They're just being. Where humans tend to not just be being. We're always like thinking. And a lot of the time our thoughts are not the best. So what I realized is when I was working on that weave bowl, it brought my attention into the moment of now. It allowed me to transfer my energy into something creative. And the cold hard fact to like everything is that time will heal all wounds. And even though I was only like that for 2 days, maybe that's all I needed. And, focusing my attention into the moment of now by working on something and not really thinking, getting away from my thoughts and being in the present moment and just putting my energy into something creative really helped me out of it very quickly. And I'm glad I went through that back then, because I feel like if I went through it now, and I even notice when I go through like small stages of like depression and sadness now, I tend to run away to like social media or like YouTube or just whatever. But the thing you gotta realize is when you run out there, you're just gonna start to think more. You're gonna see a bunch of stuff that either you're gonna compare yourself to, or you're gonna say, oh, they're so happy, or I wish I had a life like that, and then I want to be depressed, stuff like that, and that's not good. So like now what I do is I just go back to what I did before. I put everything away and I just sat in the moment of now, sat in my thoughts and like found the root of what was causing all of this. So the way I like to think about it is like there's like a tree that spouts in you, and it's like a cloud of like, or it's like a tree. It's like a tree of sadness and depression that sprouts in you. You gotta go around looking for that tree, and then you gotta pull it out with the roots. You gotta find the roots and pull them out so it doesn't sprout back. And that's how you can like turn a bad depression episode into like something positive, because you learned something about yourself and you became stronger, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So really it all comes down to just accepting. Stop running away from being depressed. Just accept how you are and find out what's causing that. Try to look on the positive, on the bright side, and try to figure out what's causing it. And like, is it a signal in your life that something needs to change, or there's something you need to learn about yourself? Because when you run away from those emotions and you indulge into, let's say, like getting wasted every weekend, or just scrolling through social media all day, or just whatever bad habit, you're just putting a band-aid over a bullet wound. You're not actually taking the bullet out and just cleaning it and then putting like, a bandage all over it. You're just slapping a band-aid over it, saying, this will do good enough. Well, it's your mental health. You shouldn't take it lightly. You should take it seriously. And I want to leave you off on this note. Realize that you will never figure out what you're looking for externally. Everything is going to be found internally. It might blow your mind, but you're actually connected to infinite intelligence, and you can connect to it. So if you're trying to figure something out, like, don't go looking to social media or a friend asking them, how do I stop being depressed, or how do I get over it? Because you're not going to find it externally. Because again, it's depression's not a one size fit all. It's different for everybody. You got to look inside of here and ask yourself, what do you need to do? What do you need to figure out? What can you do to get out of here? What can you do to not even, go back here? You got to figure out your own medication, because the gold is kept within the treasure box, never outside of it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.